Hello, friends. My name is Gregg Braden. Some of you know me as an author. Some of you know me as a public speaker. Some of you know me as a scientist. What you may not know is that I've spent the bulk of my adult life traveling to some of the most ancient and isolated and remote and beautiful and pristine places remaining in the world today. And it wasn't just for recreation, because I wanted to understand, what is it that our ancestors have known in their time that we've forgotten in ours? Perhaps even more, what did our ancestors know that we're only beginning to understand? And this is important to us today because of the world we live in. We live in a time when we were being inundated with technology in our lives and proposals to put technology into our bodies. What our ancestors said to us very clearly was that we are the technology. And I want to show you from a scientific perspective precisely what that means. How can we be considered as a technology? Let me begin with a story. I live in a remote area in the high desert of northern New Mexico. In 1986, I was hiking through a remote canyon, an archaeological site now that is known as Chaco Canyon, a United Nations UNESCO World Heritage Site. And I happened to meet a native man on the trail, and we began to talk, and he told me a story. Now, let me share his story with you. He said, long ago, the people of this land lived very differently than they do today. They lived closer to the earth, they understood who they were, and they remembered their history, they remembered their ancestry. He said, then something happened, and even the elders don't know exactly what it was. He said, but they forgot who they were. They began to lose the memory of who they were, and they became lonely. And they so longed for the connection that their heart knew they used to have. They began to build machines outside of their bodies that mimic the connections that they used to have from inside of their bodies. He said, we live in that world today. All the things that you see in the world around us, from radar systems and the internet to artificial intelligence to high-speed computers, as good as they are, every one of them mimics the functions that we already perform inside of our bodies. And he said, we will continue to clutter our external world with all of these machines until one day we remember who we are. And on that day, we let the machines go and we awaken to the deep truth of what it means to be fully human. We awaken the human blueprint within us. Well, I'm sharing that story with you because I think it makes a lot of sense. What the elderly man said to me on that trail high in the desert. And every one of the traditions that I've explored have said something very similar.